Hello and welcome back to another DIY video. Today we'll be making a plushie Wolverine. To start, I made a little drawing of what I wanted my plush to look like, and then I wanted to go with fleece, felt, or minky. In this case, I stuck with fleece and felt for this project. After picking out my fabric and drawing, I started to make a pattern. So I built up some newspaper and taped them together to create a form. After I was satisfied with my paper patterns, I then covered them in saran wrap and some tape. I also used my Sharpie to mark the lines of where I want to cut. Afterwards, I saved all the pieces and taped them together. I did this so I can create a bodice to make his clothing. Unfortunately, I suck at explaining how to make your own clothing patterns, so I put a video in the description below of the tutorial I followed. Moving forward, with the patterns I provided, I traced them onto the needed colors, and I first cut out his hair, ears, and body. I also went ahead and laid out the pieces for his face, and here I am showing you how to sew on his ears. For the face pieces, I highly recommend you hand sew these, or you can glue them. Now for the back side of his head, it's a brown piece of fabric along with the sewed on ears. I also have this brown piece of fabric that you will need to cut yourself. It is about 3 inches wide. You will place this in the middle and start to go down towards the ears. Here I have pinned the brown piece along with the back side and with the ears. All these pieces are good side to good side. When sewing, start with the brown piece and then stop above the ear. Then sew the ear pieces together. Underneath his chin, I cut out the same width of fabric, but with the tan piece, and I left a little gap so that I would be able to turn this inside out. Moving forward with the arms, you have 2 pieces here, good side to good side. With both pieces, take them apart, and then you're going to sew the darts. Afterwards, pin the pieces together and sew from the top all the way around, but leave a little gap so you can turn it inside out. For the body, do the same thing. Start with each individual piece and sew the darts together, good side to good side. Next, align the darts with each other and start sewing, but remember to leave a little gap at the top so you can turn it inside out. While you do this, make sure to add the bottom piece. This bottom piece here makes the body plump. For the leg piece, just simply turn it good side to good side and sew on one side. Before turning it inside out, find the foot piece. Attach this foot piece by using some pins and sewing all the way around. The heel of the foot should attach to the place that you just sewn. Afterwards, I attached his front hair piece. I highly recommend you either hand sew this in or use some sturdy glue. I also went along and attached his mutton chops. In the video, I hot glued them, but I recommend you guys hand sew it. The stitch I used to connect his face pieces, along with some other parts within this video, is called a whip stitch. Moving along, I then pinned down where I want the hands and feet to be placed within the main body. Now, the way that these pieces are attached is something called a ladder stitch. After I was satisfied with that, I then started to trace out the patterns for his shirt, along with the sleeves. For his shirt, make sure that it is on the fold here, and when making the back piece, cut it down the middle. I also traced the pants along with the blue pieces on the blue fabric. Going back to the shirt, make sure to hem the top part there, that's the collar, along with the bottom. With the pieces hemmed, I put them good side to good side and only sewn on where the shoulders are. Next, I attached where the sleeves are to go. It is on that C part on the end there, and I made sure to hem the edges. Next, I pinned down where the blue pieces correspond on the top, and I hand sewn these. Make sure to have a little bit of a gap so that it has a little bit of a seam allowance. Next, when I was happy with how I sewn that, I then folded good side to good side and sewn from the top of the sleeve all the way down to the side. Afterwards, I turned it inside out and then found the place where I want to put the Velcro. I highly recommend you get sewing on Velcro and not stick-on. Stick-on sucks on fabric. Later on, I hand sew it on. Next, line up the pieces for the shoulder parts and hand sew these. Afterwards, I pinned them on where I want them to be on the shirt. I then hand sewn the ends. For the gloves, I then took the piece right there and had two pieces of fabric good side and sewn from one side all the way to the other side, leaving a big gap, along with cutting out the triangle pieces and the claws on gray fabric. I also hemmed the top pieces to give it a nice finish. Once those pieces were all sewn on together, I then decided to sew on the glove pieces to the shirt so that they wouldn't be falling off. For the pants, line the two pieces up together. On one side, sew the C-looking part. Next, hem the pieces top and bottom. After sewing the hems and the C part, I then took it out and folded good side to good side, making sure to line up the pieces correctly on the bottom. Next, sew the V-looking part there, along with attaching the two top pieces and sewing that halfway. Afterwards, on that back side that you left open, I attached the Velcro again. Using the pants pattern, I found out where I needed to attach the blue pieces. For the boots, you would take the leg piece and split it in half and then sew good side to good side, along with attaching the foot piece. I then decided to use the ladder stitch to sew in the boot and pants together. Moving forward with the belt, cut out 2.5 pieces. I know in the video it's only 2, but I realized I needed 2.5. After hemming them, I attached the black pieces and along with the Velcro. For the logo here, I took some felt along with the red and black pieces and hand sewed these, doing the X first and then the block of red. Moving along with the mask, I cut it out on 2 layers of yellow here, along with sewing the 2 sides together, good side to good side. Along with this, I also cut the back side. To attach this piece, sew along the curved edge, and then sew the front and back panels together. After sewing the pieces together, I then hand sewn on the black and white pieces on the front of the mask. To attach the helmet piece to the back side of the top, I used some Velcro. And with all that in place, the plushie is finished.